So yes, Trina is incredible. And something that she said that stuck out to me that was, I still don't know how I feel about it, but I mean, if it's working for you, stay with it, was that she spends most of her time on her team instead of her own business. So that kind of stuck out to me. And I was like, well, she's making it work though. And then when she talks about how many people she brings on, she's not a very high recruiter. So she brings on, 3 to 4 coaches a month. But she says, because she works so deep in her downline, it's like bringing on 5 people with that one. So that's why she brings on so little. So Allie said, it makes me feel better coming from a team where Ashley's always hitting SC 400. Yep, exactly. And that was kind of Trina's thing. Trina was like, if that works for you and you want to be a retail coach like that, that's totally fine. And then you get, your couple people from that. But Trina's vision was, I'd rather bring in like less and have, I don't want to say more quality, but longer lasting coaches, if that makes sense. So she's just really good at finding that. So
sometimes too, when you're focused on quality, you can actually serve the people that you have, and they tend to like stay on home direct more and they stay with you. Because I don't know about you guys, but I get lots of messages from like customers of people that have lots of people in their challenge groups, and they're like, can I switch to you? Like my coach never even talks to me, So, I mean, not in a bad way towards them. It's just, you can't physically like have really good quality conversations with that many people. So I feel like with my heart and with my mission, and everybody's different, everybody is in a different place, but like just knowing like, I want to really serve those people, and they tend to turn into coaches and things like that. So.
Exactly. I absolutely agree with that for sure. And again, like I said, if it works for you and you're killing your business and it works to bring in that many people, awesome, do it. Right. But I do understand that there's just one of you and you have to kind of split up your time. And if you want to give quality service and value, yeah, I totally get that. So any more thoughts on that? Anything else? I don't know if you guys saw it, if you want to dig into what she said, Kelsey. Yeah.
I had a call with my upline Keith Callahan yesterday, and he is very much that type of person that brings in leaders and works with them. And I think the highest SC he's ever hit is 17, and he normally gets like 6, and he's, been in the Millionaires Club for years and years. So hearing him say like he wants to be a leader of leaders and have a team of teams instead of it being just recruiting a ton of people, made me feel a lot better, which I mean, I have never hit super high SC. I think the highest I ever hit was probably 26, and I definitely like want to aim to go over that. But with hearing that and what he's built on, just bringing in leaders and working so closely with all of them and presenting the business opportunity way more than he ever presents the fitness aspect. And he also talked about, you're not going to find leaders, you have to create them. So when you're able to give like all of your love to the people that you have and focus on them, then you're going to create a foundation where you're going to have a bunch of leaders instead of having it just be, okay, I have a ton of people. What am I doing? I need to try and, help all of them grow their business.
Okay, so let's dig into that. How do you create leaders?
Well, I just wanted. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You talk
I just wanted to say one thing though, because it's a fine line, because you want to really give, and I've learned this in the wrong way. You want to really give your time and energy to your people, all of your people, but like if you give all of your time and energy to all of your coaches equally, including the ones that say they want it but aren't showing up, it just totally drains your energy. It doesn't give, accountability to your people. So it's like a balance, with giving your time and energy and really investing and working in those ones that are working and that are actually taking the action, and kind of balancing, maybe giving the time and energy in the team page to all of them. But, I have spent so many hours on mentoring calls, like over the last 2 years with coaches, and invested my time and energy doing that approach for coaches that said they were doing it, but that weren't doing anything. So it just totally drains you. And I feel like you have to find the right balance.
Absolutely. Thank you, Leah. Kelsey, were you going to add?
Sorry.
The last kind of thing that
Kelsey, were you going to add something?
again, I'm just kind of
Oh no, you just said how do you create leaders? And
Oh yeah. That's definitely the topic of discussion that I want to talk about right now. So if you have ideas, tips, how did he help you?
Personally, I always I have one-on-one calls with all of my girls that are ready to run with the business. I think it's hard to really put that time aside if someone's not doing anything. And what Haley Christian's my coach, and she always has instilled in us go and if somebody wants a call with you, and go and look at their page, and if they haven't posted every single day for the last week, say, I really want to have a call with you, get back to me when you've shown up every day. She's obviously a little bit of tough love. I am the same type of coach, but I say it in a nice way, so that I'm I want you to show up for your business before, I'm going to match your efforts. If you're not working to the point where you're showing me that you can talk all day, but if your actions don't match your mouth, are you really going after your goals?
Absolutely. And it goes along with what Leah said, that, you get on the call with these people and they just are lip servicing you, and it's not okay. Right. It just sucks your energy, and the energy vampires, it's not okay. You definitely have to protect your time. And I think that's a great way. Leah, did you go over how you your requirements, so to speak, with these people before you have a call with them?
All last year I did not. I set no expectations with my people, and that's the first lesson that I learned. And what I changed this year, is I really started it this summer. My team grew to 2-star, but even still after that, my people weren't necessarily showing up, even though I hit that goal. So I made it very clear to my team now, that I am there to pour into the team page and to give them support and for team calls, but for one-on-one calls going forward, they have to earn their spot. So they earn their spot based on them working and hitting Success Club this month. Then they earn one-on-one mentoring calls weekly with me for the next month. I feel like there might be times where I might make an exception, and I haven't yet, but those are the coaches where I know that they are showing up, because I also sent them a tracker. And so the people that are in my mentoring groups, they have a weekly tracker, and they're filling them out and they're sending it. And it's like the action groups, I don't so much care that they have to track it, if they're not at where they should be, then that's an opportunity for them to improve, and that we could talk and work on. I want them to just be accountable for their actions and track it. So I've kind of taken the Action Academy approach to that. And I also am in Josh Coates groups. So I know that it's for me, I need accountability. And if someone, if I know I have to hand in a paper to show someone the work that I've done, even for me as self-motivated as I am, it makes me work harder. So I feel like that's really important too, for my coaches. And then now I just let them know that that's the standard, and I praise those people. So I give them tons of shout outs, and I give them recognition. People show up on team calls, and just giving praise, verbal praise.
I love that. I love that you're there for your team and setting those expectations. You can see how night and day it is, right? So love that. Allie, you raised your hand, love. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, so I also did it the wrong way. And at the beginning, I was doing every Thursday one-on-one calls with anyone that had a pulse. And it was just not becoming. And so now what I do is I do what's called Thursday Mastermind. So every Thursday at 5 o'clock, it's like a time where I will get on with anyone who wants to mastermind and chat about the business, kind of like this. And so they can all feed off of each other's energy, because I found with one-on-one calls, I'm leading it a lot more than they are. And so with the masterminds, like someone like Susan might ask a question that Becky really wanted to know but was too chicken to ask or something like that. And so until they hit Success Club or something, I just offer that 1 hour mastermind. It's usually about 6 to 7 people on it to be able to talk and conversate. And then once they hit Success Club, that following month, just like Leila said, they get one-on-one calls with me, because those are the ones that are really pushing, helping 3 people. I preach it's easy, because it is. I mean, 3 people an entire month, that's not even a person a week. And so I tell them, I'm like, if y'all can't, like, if you guys are doing the actions that I'm telling you to do, you should be able to do that. And so when you start helping those people, then I'm going to invest more time into you, and we're going to really grow your business. But I've got to see you hit that median, because that's the only tangible thing I know, to know that they're doing what they need to be doing to get a 30-minute call with me once a week and take time out of, that business portion. So that's what I do to be able to give them that voice time to ask their questions in the FaceTime and stuff like that, but to precious my time. So they all get about 10 minutes each to ask questions and conversate. And they usually end up just talking with each other and masterminding that. But I also do the success pods on top of that. And so when I get bigger, I'm already thinking about doing mastermind calls with the success pods versus the entire downline. But for right now, that's what works for me.
Love that. That's awesome. I love that you're having them earn your time, and that's exactly what you should be doing. Absolutely. And honestly, with Trina, she's kind of doing the same thing. She brings in people and she's like, you have to bring in other people to get my time, right? So that's a perfect way to protect your business and protect your time. Like, it makes everything more productive and efficient. So Allie, I love that approach. Lauren, you wanted to say something like 30 minutes ago. I'm so sorry, honey.
No, you're good. I was just going to say that I really push with the idea of my coaches will do half of what I do. And so I really make it a point to show up every single day and show them that I'm doing the things. And that's been, I feel like when they see that I'm doing it, I get more people showing up. And so I got this from Kate, I think it was Kate Morgan in I don't know, I've been in a couple trainings recently. But she said what she'll do sometime is like on her team page, she'll be like, I just sent out 50 invites. Who can match me or who can, do this. And so I've started doing that. And my coaches, a lot of my coaches are teachers. And so they struggle with a lot of the like the focus of just sitting down and inviting. And so they've been very receptive of that. So they see it. They're kind of like when it's in front of them, they'll do that. Like if I've posted that, then they hurry and they're like, oh shoot, I got to go do that too. Another thing that I do is every Sunday, I know you said Thursdays were your masterminds, Allie. I do mine on Sundays and we set goals for ourselves. So we call it our start our week off right. And on Sundays, what I'll do is I'll hop on, I'll just give them quick, tidbits of new information that's, been released. And then I just quickly get their goals and I just tell them, how can I help them reach their goals this week? So each of them have different goals. And then I just make my week, if one of them says they're struggling with sending invites, well then throughout that week, I do things on our team page that will help push them to get out invites. Or if they're struggling to get their workouts in, then, I'll send them a text, because my team's small still. So we're very close and tight knit. But we've been finding things that work for us. And so those are my 2 things that have been helping me. So.
Perfect. And we had a couple questions in the chat, and does this chat follow you when you go in the recording? I don't think it does. It does, Kelsey?
No, it does.
It doesn't, but there is, I'm pretty sure that there's like the audio and video version, and then there's like a script version when you save it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Perfect. Well, we'll just say the questions out loud so I don't have to save more than one thing. But Allie was asked, how do you show your coaches daily? So Allie, will you
I didn't know
explain?
what she meant by that. Like, show them. I'm sorry, I'm a blonde.
It's all good. So who asked the question? Let's see.
Wait.
I did.
Oh,
So
Lance.
she kind of answered it. Like she'll post in there,
Post.
invited 15 or invited 50 people or.
Yeah, so that's what I found that really. So I check in with them every single day, and I give them homework assignments after every Thursday mastermind. So like some will be inviting, which everybody was sucking at their invites. So I do this, which is just check marks to show that I've invited people, and I take a picture of that and show them like, hey, I've invited 50. Who's next? And stuff like that. And so that's kind of what I do to show them there. But yeah, I guess is that answer?
Well, and Lauren was going to add something. Lauren, were you showing up daily for your coaches as well?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I just post like, hey, I just, I sent out 50 invites, or I sent out this and that, and show them that way. And then I do like a weekly leaderboard. So like on this Monday, when I sent out the leaderboard, I recognized that I was at 10 and that my other coaches who have SC points, they're here. And so I do a weekly leaderboard, and then I've started a weekly or a monthly build your tribe. So the coaches who've added to their tribe. So not necessarily like me showing them, but I'm through recognition or through those things showing that it's getting done. So what I've noticed is, so like I have just, we're starting the second week of October, I think, maybe, I don't know. We're in the middle of the second week. And so I have a lot of, rubies or that type A personality and friendly competition. So a lot of people on my team will see like, oh, so-and-so already has this. Well, I better get my butt into gear because I got to get up there too. And so I don't wait and do end of the month leaderboards because that's not pushing them throughout the month. So every Monday I do a SC check-in board.
Love that. Okay. Leah does weekly too. Perfect. Okay. So Kelsey, I wanted to ask you specifically because you said that Keith, your upline, is that his name? He focuses on creating leaders. So you don't just find them, how do you create them? And all of these things are great, the recognition, the things like that. But if you have a specific person, how do you make that one? Because I know this is something that all of you are worried about, getting to elite, getting your diamonds. So let's talk about how we get that one coach to hit diamond, right? We know it's not hard. You guys are all there, plus more, right? So how do we get those people to rank advance to diamond and hold it? And how did he help you, Kelsey?
Well, with what he said, like Haley's my upline and then he's my upline. So I don't talk to him a ton. He's kind of like this mystical being that you only see every now and then, to be honest. He doesn't really even show up on social media a lot. But he is really great at what he does, and he's obviously gotten to the point where he doesn't need to, which is what I want. I don't want to be tied to my phone 24/7 when, I become an elite coach. And I mean, obviously you have to put in years and years to get there, but he basically said that you can't, he did this whole scenario of like, if you put a string down on if you put a string down like this big, you put it down on the table and you pull it like this, the string comes with your finger, right? And then he said, okay, then you put it down and you push it. He's like, you can't push your people to be leaders. You can't be dragging them, kicking and screaming. And obviously we want that for all of the people that we're leading. We want them to become diamond. We want them to have success, and we want them to push for premier and elite, but you can't force them to do it. So the way that he worded it was, you need to live a life that's so inspiring that they just want that for themselves, that you're showing up every day and you're being the person that they want to be. You're living a life that they want to live. So, I mean, we can, try and drag them all we want. That's not the way that it's going to work out for us, which was super eye-opening for me because I have gotten to this point where I'm a little bit frustrated with my business because I've been diamond for over a year, and I've had 2 people fall in and out of diamond recently. So I'm getting frustrated because I'm like, okay, like, you guys, I don't understand why it's so hard. Just hold it. But if I'm getting frustrated, they're probably frustrated as well, and they're going to sense that. So I just need to focus on me. And he also made a point that, you know, having a conversation with them, and not for nothing, but saying, I love you guys and I want you all to want this, but I'm not going to drag you. So I'm going to work with the runners. I'm going to work with the people that are ready to do this. That's all I got.
Sorry, I couldn't find the mute button. Like my mouse was lost on my 2 screens, but I love that. I love that he has that honest conversation, and that analogy of like pushing the string. It's so true. So true. Cause I see so many coaches doing that. And then I also see that once a coach gets to diamond, they go on defense, right? You get to diamond and you're like, nobody move. Everybody has to stay exactly where you are. Nobody move. And then you start defending these diamonds and saying, okay, what can we do to keep you at diamond? What can we do? When really, if you go out and you're finding these other leaders who really resonate with how you lead, boom, it's going to happen by itself. Right. So like kind of getting that mindset shift of, I don't have to defend my diamond. That's the scarcity mindset. Right. And absolutely, you cannot stop recruiting. So the scarcity mindset is like, okay, that's the only diamond like I'm ever going to get. Right. No, that's false. Anybody that you recruit can be a diamond, should be a diamond. Right. That's where things start. So I absolutely love that. And then how do you guys feel about digging into your downline a little bit? Like if you have a coach that's kind of struggling, going down into their coaches, how do you feel about, have you tried that at all?
Okay. So
talk to me about that. This is a discussion.
I can, or go ahead.
Ooh,
We all unmuted ourselves.
go ahead, Whitney.
I was just talking with my success partner about this the other day, because I have a coach that's so close to diamond, but it's her coaches that obviously need to sign one more coach. 2 of them need to just sign one more coach, and she's a diamond. That's it. And so, but it's been like that for 2 months. You know, we're just waiting, and she has been saying like, I'm giving them incentives, I'm leading, da, 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 da. And so a month or 2 ago said, hey, like, what do you say about me reaching out? And she was like, I got it, basically. So I'm over that. I'm not going to ask anymore. So I just, the other day, just wrote them a message, and it wasn't like, hey, what are you doing? It was just like, Katie's been telling me, and I'm so excited for you, so tell me more, or whatever. And it was just kind of that approach, as opposed to, hey, you're not getting this, so what's up kind of thing. I just kind of took it as like, I know when I first signed, I was under some random girl, and my upline is a strong coach. And when she dipped down and talked to me, I was like, oh my gosh. So not that I'm awesome at all, but I know that you look toward those leaders in your business, you know? And so I know that they look to me as a leader. So I was like, I'm just going to stop asking my downline, and I'm just going to go for it, but not step on toes, but just kind of make it be like, I'm here if you need me kind of thing. And they responded back, which was really good. The one didn't, but the other 2 did. So it's like, if anything, at least it just opens that door. And I affirmed their coach like crazy in that message. And that was probably the big thing, is I was like, Katie is the best. And I was like going on, and I did a voice chat so they could really hear that I wasn't like undermining her leadership, but not that it's worked yet, because they're still not signing a second coach. So close. That 5-star is like dangling there. But we're so close. But yeah, so I at least tried it. So that's my new game plan.
I've always made a conscious effort to like go into my downline, because that's how my upline kind of handled me too. And I'm pretty strategic about it. Like as soon as my coaches have new coaches sign in, I immediately message them right off the bat and like, welcome to the team, open that line of communication. And then I have messenger pods with like all of my leaders and their team. So as soon as someone that's new like gets joined, if they don't already add them, then I'll just go in there and add them and say, hey, welcome, blah, blah, blah. Welcome to our little chat. And I also like to have monthly goal setting calls with like my downlines. So that's a way that keeps that communication going and like chatting, and I'll just like go in there and say, how's everybody doing? How's it going? And then I kind of treat them we have a big downline challenge group. So I kind of treat them like a customer. Like I make sure I'm like liking and commenting on their posts, like forming a relationship so that communication's open. And then those people that are pushing, I'm like having that conversation in a pod with them. Or if they need, I reach out to them individually. And that helped a lot when I was pushing the 2-star.
I love that. And when you guys, I do the same thing. Like with your teams, I have elite coaches from last year that are still asking me to reach out to their diamonds still today. And I'm like, sure thing. You know, like, hey, how's it going? How's your business going? Are you pushing for NLC? Because NLC is amazing. You know, diamond is where you really start your business and those kinds of things. So reaching down is awesome. And Whitney, I would totally encourage you to keep trying, because the fact that they got back to you, that's huge. Like that's huge. So don't get discouraged that it hasn't worked yet, right? Because one day you're going to reach out to somebody and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, you're that mystical creature, right? Like Kelsey was talking about. Because I'm sure when Kelsey gets a message from Keith, she's like, oh my God, right? Like, how does he even know who I am? And even though you don't feel like a top 10 coach, to them, like you are, if that makes sense. So they think you're like the end all be all, like knowledgeable person. So I definitely encourage you to keep doing that. So anything else, guys, that is going to help your diamonds help you get diamonds, Kelsey?
I have like conversations with all of my downline too. I feel like it definitely helps them push a little bit more when they know that you're also like there to help them with their goals and it's not just their coach. But my team has calls after our initial team call, we'll have an Emerald in 24 hours push every other week. So where we just talk about, like for all new coaches that are coming on, the things to do to hit Emerald, like make a dirt list of all the people, you know, that would sell dirt if you were buying it, make like, just kind of helping them figure out how to have those conversations to reach out to people, because obviously as a brand new coach, it's super intimidating to have those conversations and to put yourself out there. I tell all of my girls, like once they sign up and they do their coming out post, that they should reach out to every single person that even likes it, as well as comments on it, so that they start right off the bat with kind of breaking outside of those comfort zones. Because I think if you let them like wait a little bit too long, then they get in this little shell almost. So that's something that's helped, but it's still, I'm not going to say that we've created a ton of emeralds from it, probably a few, but I think that as we gain traction and there's starting to be more and more girls on those calls, they'll kind of feed off of each other. And sometimes one of my girls right now that just fell out of diamond, she has somebody in her downline that's almost diamond. So I kind of like pin them against each other in a little competition. And I'm like, Faith, you do not want this girl to beat you to diamond, do you? Wouldn't that, like, how would you feel if somebody in your downline beat you? So that's helping her right now. I'm not sure if anybody else has a similar situation.
I love that. Mickey, we're going to add something. I see your gorgeous face all of a sudden.
No, my video has just been like weird. So I've been coming in and out of being on the video, but no, I haven't specifically to this topic, but I just know that, yeah, like I'm just working closely with my runners and, you know, just focusing on the people that deserve my time, and focusing like my business time on just heavily recruiting this month. I know that it's been rough for everybody, but I'm just going to keep doing my thing, you know, and I'm running weekly sneak peeks, just trying to keep up with that. And then, yeah, I'm doing Emerald push groups with a couple of my success partners so that they're bigger and more impactful. So we have one finishing tonight. We'll probably do one again next week, pretty much every week until the elite qualification, the last minute elite qualification date, basically.
Perfect. And I actually want to go back to something Kelsey said about, and Allie, I'll get to you, I promise, with like the friendly competition thing, you know, like, hey, you can't let your downline beat you, what the heck? And that friendly competition is huge. And there's something else that you can do on your page, and I'm sure a lot of you do this, but you go on Diamond Watch. Like, hey, Julie needs like 2 more coaches before she's diamond. Like, let's cheer on. And that's a way for the team to rally around her and you know, encourage her and stuff. And I've heard that that's pretty effective too, because the team, like, all eyes are on you, right? So you don't want to let them down. And you're like, oh crap, like people know now, right? So, okay. Sorry, Allie, what did you have to say?
So I'm just trying to see how everybody's establishing like a runner versus a jogger and stuff like that, because everybody I've heard is different. And, you know, you want to see, yeah, they're hitting Success Club, but how are everyone saying the runners? I just don't know how to establish, or if I can even establish they're a runner and they're like worth the time, or are we just taking their word like, yeah, I want to run, but they're more like crawling. Did any of that make sense?
I feel like you can tell if they're showing up and they're really putting the effort in. There's a huge difference between the people that are showing up on their social media every day and inspiring people and showing up in their story and reaching out to you and wanting your help than the ones that are just kind of coasting and waiting for you to reach out to them and message them and encourage them. You know, I feel like the ones that are asking for help are the ones that are ready to go, the ones that are just kind of, I mean, there are a few that obviously can kind of handle it on their own and they're sitting back, and you're the coaches that you're like, okay, I don't need to worry about you because you're doing it and you see that they're doing it and that they're showing up. And then there's the ones that are like, hey, I need your help. I really want this. Here are my goals, and showing up every single day. But the ones that are saying that they want it and they're not showing up at all, like, why would you put your time there, you know?
So when they reach out to you, you do like a quick look over their social media, see if they've been at least showing up on social media, and then okay, well, this one's probably, they're really serious about this. Let me talk to her and see if she's really ready to run with it.
Yeah, and that's what I mean, did I mute? Yeah, sorry, I thought I muted myself. Yeah, that's what I do. And also for my upline, we do we haven't done it in a little bit just because there was the hurricanes in North Carolina, so she hasn't been home, but we do like a 9 o'clock power hour for the whole team. So anybody in the whole team that wants to hop on the power hour from 9 to 10 a.m., they can. And then from 10 to 11, it's all the diamonds and above on the power hour, which I've been carrying on with my team while she's been gone. Anybody that wants to show up in the morning for a power hour that, obviously some people work and aren't able to, but all of the girls that are, you obviously know that they're taking it seriously if they're showing up at least, several times a week to be there and work with you. And then we kind of have a call like this where we're doing a power hour, but we're feeding off of each other with the ideas for, what we're sending as messages, what's working, what's not working, and all of that.
Perfect. And Caroline, you said you have theirs fill out a business activity tracker. And do they have to have certain numbers in there, or they just have to fill it out?
Yeah, so I got this idea actually from Kelsey Shackley and Amber Kuiper, because they rolled this out to their teams like a week or two ago. And one of my we call each other purpose partners instead of success partners. But my purpose partner is underneath of Kelsey, so I kind of got this from them. But I made my own and everything. But essentially it dives into like kind of like the Instagram power hour of like adding 50 people a day, messaging or commenting on 50 people's with 50 people a day. It's, I think 25, I don't remember all of it. It's like adding people to your collection. So I think it's like 25 people to collections a day. So basically they have to do all of those things. It even goes into a checklist of what they're sharing on Instagram stories. So it gives them like options. And they have to like choose 7 a day that they're doing. It's kind of hard to explain without showing you guys, but basically I created this whole thing, and I can screenshot it and put it in our team page or our page or whatever. But basically I rolled out an October challenge. So I went live in my team page on October 1st and said, hey, we're going to do this October challenge. if you're game, if you want to jump in, I'll add you to the message thread. So I have a little basically thread or pod going with all those coaches who said they wanted to be in it. It's for my entire downline. And so basically I added them to that, and I'm keeping track of if they do it 5 times a week. So they have to, like on this past Monday, I just made a shout out and I was like, shout out to all the girls who did it like 5 out of 7 times this past week. And we have that thread. And so every day when they do it, they jump in there and say done, or whatever. And I'm in there obviously leading them and doing it myself as well. So it's been really good for me because I have coaches who post on Instagram every day, but they don't they are more of a wanting to be a blogger instead of a business builder. And so for me, I don't really like to just go off of are they posting on social media, because they might just enjoy that part of it. Because that's what I did for a long time. I was building my Instagram and had a ton of followers, but I wasn't actually doing business building activities behind the scenes. And so I'm just really big on if there's been coaches who are doing that 5 days a week, who I honestly kind of had written off because they had not hit Success Club once in the first 3 months they were a coach. And it's because they didn't know what they I don't think I really maybe showed them what they should be doing. And they just saw social media and all these different things, but they weren't having true conversations with people. So there's a whole lot to it. I made a Google Doc that had conversation starter, examples and things like that. But that's how I'm defining who's working the business now. And like I said, it's just opened my eyes to the people who are actually putting in the time and the people who really aren't.
I love that. And I wanted to add, when we were talking about how do we build our leaders, something that I started doing in the last 3 months is when my new coach signs up, not only giving them that content, but we map out their schedule. And I think so many of my coaches fail because they don't know that they need a schedule. As goofy as it sounds, something that when we've been doing it so long, we get so used to black out this specific time. So my new coaches, not only am I okay, here's some your 4 daily tasks or something like that, but also I'm asking them, will you either screenshot or show me how you've mapped out the time? And I'm I don't care if it's 30 minutes or 3 hours, but I want you to show me what you're going to commit to this every day. And then I'm going to tell you what to do in that time frame. And I don't have to do it long. I just do that with my new coaches. So it's not every single coach I'm telling them what to do, but that's helping, like you said, because in the beginning, it's we're telling them all this stuff, but they don't really know how or when or what. So I'm still trying to figure that out. But we talk a lot of my team about balanced grit, and that I have a lot of moms of young kids. We all have little ones who are at home running around like crazy. So it's finding that balance in your life and then still having that hustle and that grit. And so that's kind of helped, that is setting a schedule. So I don't know if that helps anyone else.
2 months ago, I created a brand new onboarding for all of my coaches. And so my Instagram is all faith and fitness. All of my coaches, I lead my entire team with faith and fitness. So our new coach academy is called the Holy Hustle Academy. And I try to teach my coaches to not sacrifice time with their families to run this business, but how can they do both and really excel in both, be a great mom, be a great wife, but also be a great business owner. And so I built a whole month of training. Basically I just sat down and brainstormed all the things that Beachbody maybe I didn't feel touched on, but I have personally done in my own life. And so the whole first week is on productivity and teaching them how to do brain dumps and how to schedule their time, waking up early. So what I did was in August, every day I just filmed the video and then I put it on YouTube. And then by the end of the month, I had the whole training built out, and it wasn't a huge time commitment, but it was a way for me to really invest in them. And those coaches are taking off way faster than coaches in the past because I'm teaching them how I have done it. And I think that's something sometimes we kind of forget because it was, it's such a habit for us, but for them, this is brand new. So I love that you're doing that too, Whitney.
Guys, this is amazing stuff. And I love that you have a tracker and it has specific goals that you have to hit. It's not just, okay, and this is kind of what I'm going to change for our Action Academy is usually with the Action Academy that I run, it's you show up, you say, yes, I did this many, no, whatever, you show up and you just say what numbers that you have. Well, I'm going to change it to that, did you do this many? Did you have this many conversations? Did you hit Success Club? Are you in qualification for a rank advancement? Because these are the things that move our business forward. Just because you're accountable and you feel okay saying I'm at 0 every single week, that's not going to move your business forward, right? There has to be some kind of action behind that. So Caroline, I love that. You guys, this call has been amazing. I'm going to go ahead and